have to just listen to them and suffer in the heat. I've known Dan for 15 years. When I started in the Follies, I joined the Follies, and there he was with that great wit and great smile. And you were the first one to really welcome me and say, oh, hey, come on, we're going to have a great time. And we had it for many years, and before he left. And I just want to tell you, he does some of the greatest impressions in the whole world. My favorite one, can you get up here and do it for a minute? Come on, do it. Paul Lynn, Paul Lynn.
Now watch out, now make it easy. Don't hurt. Oh, well, anyway, I want to thank you all for being here today. I've got a cue to get out here. I killed somebody.
Okay. Anyhow, every day I would come into the green room, and Jerry and Jeffrey and myself and Dan, and we'd be all sitting there laughing and having a good time. He would be up doing all these great impressions. Of course, that was my favorite one, and now it's over. But anyhow, and then, you know, there was the time, because I know you all know him from the Follies, but if you can go back and think about the, you know, the different acts that he worked with, and one of my favorites was, of course, the Mercer brothers, and they made a team, or rather a threesome, out of the group, because the three of them were so funny, except that Dan, of course, was a lot younger than the Mercers. They were in their 80s. Ho, 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 she says. But anyhow, and I remember one time they did this wonderful Hawaiian number. Remember that? Yeah. And they were all dressed up in the Hawaiian outfits and whatnot. And then at the end of the number, they all dropped their straw skirts. Well, picture that. But anyhow, it was a great number. The only other funny story I have, I'm trying to go as fast as I can, is when you were the three-legged man. Remember? Did you know he had 3 legs one time? Yeah, he did. And one day he came out on the stage, and he used to come with the one leg, you know, in the center, and he'd flop out there. And then he would sit down, and one day he took the one leg and lifted it up and put it over on this side. Remember this? And it got tangled. The music was going on and on and on, and it was nearing the end, and he couldn't get the leg untangled, and the audience was roaring. Well, being the pro that he is, he finally made it, got the leg, and walked off with the 3 legs, and the audience roared. Now, my last little bit I want to tell is that Dan and I were actually the jitterbug couple of the Follies. Is that not true? Oh, could we cut a rug, the two of us? And we choreographed everything ourselves, didn't we? They're still doing our steps. Did you know that? Oh my God. Well, are you kidding? Anyhow, that is my last little bit about you. You know, I'm so glad to call you my friend, because I love you, darling, a lot. You deserve this store and star, whichever, more than anybody else. Come here. Check's in the mail, he said. Thank you.
Listen, Dan, I see you're still monkeying around, right? I know. But listen, everybody here is going ape over you, I'm telling you. And you know, Dorothy was right. You are one of a kind. In fact, you're every kind. I know. Listen, I know you did that number with the Mercer brothers. It was an Hawaiian number, and I know how he got it. He got it through his Hawaiian agent, Kamanawanalea. I'm telling you, I know that. I know that. Listen, Dan is a great guy, and there are a lot of stars that he knows that unfortunately were not able to come here today. And I made a list of them for him. Let's see, there's Gloria Swanson, Wallace Beery, Rin Tin Tin, Sabu, Francis the Mule, Johnny Weissmiller. You know, he had an ape too, and he was swinging around those trees. Very strange, Dan. You know, Roy Rogers, J. Fred Muggs, and all of them together. And you know, I'm very pleased today because of these 2 women that are sitting here. Kay won't remember, but the one and only year I was in the Follies. I was in the Follies with Kay Starr. But the most important thing was I did a wonderful show called Lorelei with this gorgeous, lovely creature called Carol Channing right here, and it was the thrill of my lifetime. And Dan, I had something to talk to you about Carol today, but now that she's here, I can't do that. You know. So listen, everybody got together, all of your star friends, and they pooled their money, and they bought you a floral tribute. It's the best they could do, but what the heck. Listen, you guys, Dan is a lovely, that's you. Dan is a lovely, charming, sincere, large-hearted fellow who would give you his right arm, maybe, if you needed it. He's a wonderful guy, and he is so deserving. So give a big round of applause for Dan Westbaum.
Scott.
Look out. Look out, everybody. Here.
Our next speaker is a well-known entertainer and performer here in our own valley. She had a long engagement in the fabulous Palm Springs Follies, as well as her appearances at playhouses throughout the desert, Southern California and Las Vegas. I actually had the pleasure of working with Anita about 10 years or so ago. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome star number 150 on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars, the lovely Miss Anita Malton.
Thank you so much, and what a joy it is to be here today. When Dan invited me, I was so thrilled. I met Dan about 20 years ago, when we were in the first year of the PS Follies. Then I met Cheetah, who was about 4 years old then, now 22. And I had an abba-dabba love affair with Cheetah. Dan's work with the Chimps over the years is nothing short of admirable. He started with private parties, reached Mr. M, into the Follies, and we've been friends that long, and we'll always be friends, thank God. Congrats, Dan. You deserve this honor. I'm happy that your star is just down the street from mine. God bless you.
Thank you, Anita. Miss Anita Malton. Our next speaker is an American pop and jazz singer, best remembered for introducing two fantastic songs, Wheel of Fortune and the Rock and Roll Waltz, that became long-running #1 hits in the 1950s. She also was one of the first female artists to perform country, western, and swing music. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the very talented Miss Kay Starr.
God, you must be music lovers. I didn't know I was going to be on.
Yeah, well, this is a surprise to all of us, isn't it? No, we are. What do you mean? Of course you're going to go. I got to say something about Miss Starr here. Many years ago, in the late 50s, she received her star on in Hollywood on Vine Street in front of Capitol Records. And unfortunately, at her star ceremony, she was unable to attend. She was out doing a gig and she missed her own star ceremony. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'm still looking for the star. They've moved it several times, you know. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know where
I don't know where it is.
But this young lady and I...
If you find it, will you let me know? Serious.
We were together in the Follies, and first show we worked in was here in Palm Springs with Paul Smith's trio and starring K-Star, and so we worked there. And then, of course, when I first met Miss Starr, it was back about 45 years ago on the Hollywood Palace, when she starred in the Hollywood Palace, and I was just a young whippersnapper then, and all of a sudden, 45 years...
I go way back.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm standing here in Palm Springs in front of my star about to be unveiled with K-Star. It's unbelievable.
I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm pleased that you're here. She came all the way from Bel Air just for me. I can't believe it. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah! Oh! Katie, is there anything you'd like to say before somebody else comes up?
I think I want to sit down to see who's going to get up next.
Miss K-Star.
Thank you, Miss K. Star.